Today we are going to talk about MANOVA in SPSS. This is Project Statistics YouTube channel. I want to welcome you once again. The MANOVA Multivariate Analysis of Variance is an extension of ANOVA that allow for the analysis of multiple dependent variables simultaneously. It examines whether changes in independent variables have a significant effect on several dependent variables, representing an underlying concept. Now, what I want to point out here about MANOVA is that the dependent variable which you are using, which you are interested in, it is not usually being measured directly. You measure other continuous dependent variables as an underlying concept representing the in, uh, the variable of interest. So this is the difference between ANOVA and MANOVA. This is a diagrammatic structure that you can use to differentiate ANOVA. Here, when we are doing ANOVA, we have a single continuous variable being compared with categorical variable that has many groups. While in MANOVA, we have a continuous variable which is not being measured directly, but we are using four different underlying variables to measure the variable of interest. For example, we use ANOVA in comparing the effectiveness of treatment method on patient health. Now, the health of the patient is not measured directly most of the time. How do we know that a patient is healthy? We have to measure four different metrics. For example, the blood pressure, the cholesterol level, the body mass index, and the body temperature. These are the metrics that make up the patient health. So this is a situation where we deploy MANOVA most of the time because we are not interested in a single dependent variable as we did in ANOVA, but we are now interested in the underlying concept, which is the patient health, and which is not being measured directly, but you have to measure other metrics that will make up the underlying concept, which is the patient health. Now, the data we're going to use for this our study is going to be concerned with improving the social skill of college students. Now, the people who agreed to take part in this investigation were randomly allocated to one of three training groups: the behavioral rehearsal group, control group, and the cognitive restructuring group. So this is the independent variable training group. It's the independent variable. Then we have the dependent variable measured for each subject in the study. We have anxiety was measured, social interaction skill, appropriateness, and assertiveness. Now, these four dependent variable make up what we know as the social skill of each subject. So, but we are interested in the social skill, and we cannot measure social skill directly. Social skill is being measured using these four continuous dependent variables. So that is where MANOVA comes in. Whenever you are using an underlying concept, you are interested in the underlying concept that cannot be measured directly. So you can deploy MANOVA in that situation. Now here the four variables share a common conceptual meaning. They might all be regarded as measures of the underlying concept, social confidence. So we are interested in the social confidence being measured using four different um, continuous variables. The question of primary interest is, do the four dependent variables as a whole suggest any difference between the training groups? In other words, we can say that the null hypothesis states that there is no significant effect of training group on social confidence. There is no significant effect of training group on social confidence. And social confidence is made up of is measured using anxiety, social interaction skill, appropriateness, and assertiveness. Social confidence, which is the dependent variable, was not measured directly of the college student, but rather each of these four dependent social skill variables have been measured on each student taking part in the study to denote social confidence. Now, to set up ANOVA, we have to set up this is a diagrammatic structure of how ANOVA can be, set up. Here we have our social skill, social confidence, which is the variable we are interested in measuring. But in our experiment, we used anxiety, social skills, appropriateness, and assertiveness to measure social confidence, which is the variable of interest being compared with the three different training groups, which is the behavioral rehearsal group, the control group, and the cognitive restructuring group. So this is how MANOVA is set up so that you can easily do get an understanding of how it is being set up. So I'm going to take you to SPSS right now so that we see the data and how we set it up in SPSS. So this is the variable view of the data in SPSS, our anxiety, social skill, appropriated, other. These are all scale variables, while the group is a categorical variable that's made up of three groups. So the data is like this, set up like this, group one, group two. I think we have 11 subjects in each of the group, making it like three subjects. So to analyze, I'll go to analyze general linear model, multivariate analysis. So we move all our four dependent variables into the dependent list and move this into the fixed factor list and click OK. So this will take us to our output where we have the multivariate test. This is our multivariate test table, which is the table of interest here. So I'm going to copy this and move to PowerPoint where I'm going to be making the explanation. So I'm now in PowerPoint. This is our output, the multivariate test table. Now the group part, this part here, the group part of the multivariate test table contain tests for testing the null hypothesis that the concept underlying the multiple dependent variable is not affected by group membership. So the null hypothesis states that the concept underlying the multiple dependent variable is not affected by group membership. You can also say that group membership does not have a significant effect on social confidence. That's another way you can say the hypothesis, the null hypothesis. The group membership of the subjects had no significant effect on their social confidence. SPSS automatically lists four commonly used multivariate tests: Pillai stress test, Wilks Lambda test, Hotelling stress test, and Roy larger stress test. Now, these four tests here, you can choose any one to explain and interpret your or make your conclusion. So, depending on your field or maybe your supervisor's advice, you can just use any one. And as you can see, they all lead to the same conclusion. If you look at the SIG column here, you will see that the p-value is 0.00, 0.00 for all of them except three size 0.2. They are all less than 0.05. So anyone you choose will give you the same conclusion. So here I'm going to use the Wilks Lambda test. The Wilks Lambda test here show that our p-value is less than 0.05. So far our p-value is less than 0.05. Even in this case, it's less than 0.01. So we are going to reject the null hypothesis. So that is the decision criteria state that if your p-value is less than 0.05, you reject the null hypothesis. So in this case, we are going to reject the null hypothesis that the multiple dependent variable is not affected by group membership. So what that implies is that there was an effect. In other words, the group membership of the subject had a significant effect on their social confidence. So that is going to be our conclusion. So you can actually make your conclusion that the group membership of the subject that took part in the experiment actually had a significant effect on their social confidence.